Hi, folks. Dr. Ken Russell here with the Barton College School of Business and Innovation. So I'm the new dean. Happy to be here and happy to talk about all that we're doing to sort of reimagine what it means to be a dean of an amazing School of Business and Innovation in 2025 and beyond. So really excited to be at Barton College. What you're seeing here is the recap of what we're calling Barton Means Business, which is our weekly podcast. And we'll have guests and speakers throughout this series. But today we're just doing a quick recap of what went on at Barton College this past week. So this is Becky Scott. So Becky Scott will join me on this adventure. So hi, Becky.
Hello. So I am going to be here each week helping Dr. Russell with the podcast. And we're going to have different sections each week. This week, it's just going to be a weekly recap, but we're going to have fun talking about all the great things Barton College is doing, specifically the School of Business and Innovation. We've got some terrific things planned, all kinds of different programs getting ready to get kicked off. And each week, we're going to try to bring you a little bit about what the school is doing, talk to you about the different folks that are involved, and tell you some fun things that we're planning, and just try to have a little bit of fun with everything that's going on. And you'll get to know each of us a little bit better each week. And I look forward to doing this week by week.
I think it's a great point. Every week we'll bring together little snippets, little clips, maybe some video, maybe some audio, maybe a little bit of both, where we'll highlight maybe a professor, something that happened in a class or something that's happened in and around Wilson or even beyond. Lots of things happen every week when you're in higher education. So who knows what we'll come up with, but we'll try to bring those to you here on the weekly podcast. And then, of course, we'll have a recap at the end of every podcast. But today, since we're just starting, we'll do a recap just of the past week. So, Becky, with that, I'll go ahead and start. I've got to tell the folks about our new Innovators in Residence program. I'm very excited to tell you guys about that. I can't tell you much about it right now, other than the fact that what it really is folks that are interested in working with us here at the School of Business and Innovation at Barton College. So, we've got people, we've got organizations that are wanting to collaborate with us and partner with us to do amazing things here at the school. In the coming weeks, you'll meet some of these folks and we'll talk about some of the projects we'll be doing with these innovators and residents. But for now, I just wanted to say that it looks good. We'll be able to announce some folks here in the next week or so. So look forward to that.
Let's talk a little bit about why the Innovators in Residence program, and maybe even why in the future folks may want to know more about Barton College and the School of Business and Innovation, and why that school, why Wilson, and why did
Yeah,
you join Barton? For those that
certainly.
haven't, really
Of course.
heard the story yet, let's talk a
Yeah,
little bit about that. Because this is the first time
sure.
that maybe folks are, a lot of people who are here in Raleigh have heard the story, but maybe some of your friends in Charlotte and beyond have not heard this story yet.
Well, okay, I'll try to give the abridged version since we have a short time here today. But there are other video clips out there. We can probably, in fact, we probably should,
We
share
can
some
link
of
to
those
it.
stories too. Yeah, absolutely. But I've been looking to give back at this portion of my life, and I've been very fortunate in my career to have done some pretty cool things with some pretty neat companies and individuals. And I've really, over the past 10 years or so, started working with higher education again, helping them with building innovation capabilities and innovation centers, just kind of scratching at new ideas that maybe one organization or another didn't quite have the funding for or didn't quite have the resources to pull off. So that's what I was looking for. I was looking for an organization in my home state of North Carolina, so I didn't have to keep faking my accent because this is how I really talk. But if you've known me for quite a while, you know that depending on where I go, I'm on stage and whatnot, I try to have that kind of pure play Midwestern accent. But I am a Southern guy at heart. I was born in Charlotte. So I wanted to do something special for my home state. At the same time, the folks at Barton College in Wilson, North Carolina, just east of Raleigh, were looking for someone, I think, like me, someone to help kind of reimagine what a dean of a school of business and innovation could look like and can be, and how that would interact with the world at large, not just the world of and the community of Barton College and Wilson, North Carolina, or even Eastern North Carolina, or even North Carolina, but certainly someone who can actually put together some ideas to take them in a new, innovative direction. And that's me. So you'll hear me talk about in other videos, Becky, this idea of a symbiosis, this idea that I think we're good for each other. So that's what I'm excited about being here to do. And that's sort of what brought me here. Again, I am a few hours from my hometown in Charlotte. but I do get to give back sometimes. But it's great to be back in North Carolina and visit all the folks that I kind of grew up with and where I became who I am.
You say back in North Carolina because I think before this you were at an educational institution in Virginia, right?
Mhm. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
spent the past 3 years at a state agency in Virginia. Had a wonderful time working with most of the universities there in Virginia, doing some innovative stuff, working with some of the key technology folks, but also just kind of pushing the needle on what we could do, what's possible, working with things like neurodiversity, working with things like holographic technologies and things like that, all in support of higher education.
great. Well, welcome back. All
Yeah,
right.
I'm
So
glad to be here.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. There's so much going on. So talk to us a little bit about what else has happened this week. I think you had said something about the faculty and something that they were doing.
Yeah, so what I'm really hoping with these kind of weekly recaps is that you get a kind of a look at what's happening right now at Barton College, particularly in the School of Business and Innovation. If we don't stop to just kind of reflect, it all kind of mushes together, as my mom would say. So I want to take a moment with you just to kind of say, this is what we did on Tuesday or Monday or whatever it happened to be. But this past week, I was just looking over at my notes and I was really excited because we had our faculty assembly. Uh, some colleges and universities call this like a faculty senate or something like that. But this is where we all come together to fine tune the academic core of what we do at Barton College and spend time together as educators and, well, as business people, really, ensuring we continue to produce great results, whether those results are how our students perform, how our classes come together, how we deliver those classes, but we come together as an academic core to work on these things to ensure that we don't let anything slide. So I really was happy to see that, and I was happy to see the enthusiasm. Now, you should ask me my typical quote. You want to ask me that question?
I know that quote, but a lot of people don't. So let's talk about your
Yeah.
great enthusiasm quote.
Well, that's the thing. So if you know me at all, you know that I like to quote some of these people that kind of had an influence on my life, whether I read about them or whether I've met them in real life. But one of the things that I've really kind of held close to me over the years was the quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson that nothing great was ever achieved without enthusiasm. So I carry that with me, and when I see it in action, it just warms my heart. So I'm glad to be here, glad to see that, and faculty assembly this week, and the joint assembly with faculty and staff that we had on Wednesday, which is terrific.
I will say that there's nothing like being on a campus and being around when students are there. I worked at UC San Diego for a number of years, and there's a stark difference between, summer, maybe when not very many students are on campus, if there are no summer classes, and then in the fall when school starts. And that energy on campus just changes. And all the faculty's there, all the students are there, and there's just this energy that just really revitalizes the entire campus. And there's nothing like it. It just really is exciting.
It's really special. And, I got to tell you, having, studied and worked on large campuses and big universities, small universities, there's nothing quite like a small private college. It just buzzes with energy. Everyone seems to know everyone, and it's just a great place to be. You don't get to sneak by, skipping a class here or there. They'll text you. In fact, we had a conversation about why weren't you in class? Text. It was really awesome. So I really am pleased with some of the faculty that we have here at the School of Business and Innovation. It's been really great.
Awesome. So, what else is going on?
Well, one thing I've been trying to do is I've been trying to spend at least every week doing several things. One, I try to reach out and talk to and work with an alum. I just either pick up the phone or I'll do an email or I'll do a text, but I'll try to connect with an alum. The alumni are very important to me, and I think particularly for a small private college like Barton College, it's the lifeblood, really. The students want to know these people because they've been where they are now. So it's really important that we have a strong connection with our alumni. So I reach out to them every week. The other thing I do weekly as well, that I try to pop in on one of the classes here at the School of Business and Innovation, just to and not just to sit there in the back and look like I'm some old guy, but I like to take 5 or 10 minutes to talk about whatever they're talking about. So in the past few weeks, I've visited the policy class and talked about economic policy, and I've talked about statistics, talked about marketing. In coming weeks, I'll be talking about AI. I'll be talking about, oh my goodness, economics, you name it. I'm excited to just popping in and just chatting about the pragmatic aspects of what they're learning in class today, how that applies to what we call real world. But I'm excited about that. But the last part, I'll finish this up and I'll say, I'm trying to meet with my professors one on one, like at a lunch or something like that every week. And I had a really great opportunity this past week to speak to one of my youngest professors here at the School of Business and Innovation, and just was amazed at the joie de vivre, this joy for living in a community like this. And it just really impressed me that the academic part, yeah, I get that. He's very well qualified, but just that excitement of being here, the hunger to learn more, to participate more, that was exciting. So every week I'm doing these kind of things and I'm learning more. At the same time I'm learning, but I'm also trying to share some of my road as well, my journey with these folks. And I love the connections we're making.
So tell me about your t-shirt because I think that's part of this week, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I'm wearing it, certainly. This is the Bulldog family weekend at Barton College 2025. So I'm really excited to share that I spent yesterday morning, which would have been Saturday at this point, kind of participating in Family Day. And it was really wonderful to just meet parents, grandparents, family members, folks that accompanied their children, as they would call them, students, as we would call them, just to talk about what's life like here at Barton. One of our colleagues did a kind of a day in the life mock class that was really, really superb. And I think the parents really enjoyed kind of sitting in on that and kind of participating in what their student is doing here at Barton College. And I really enjoyed it too, because it's one thing to kind of walk around campus and you see the students and you have that kind of energy. But when you have a parent come by and really want to chat with you about the focus of the program, what we're trying to do, what we're trying to build, it gets very exciting.
Where do you see some of the programs going? I know you haven't been there very long and you're still kind of getting used to things, so no pressure. Now that you're kind of settling in, do you have some ideas of where things are headed?
I'll give you another quote from Peter Drucker, right? What gets measured gets managed. And I think that we all have to do a better job at just kind of looking at what we're doing, making sure that we stay relevant, pay attention to what's happening in the world of business and the greater world as well. I mean, we can't live in an ivory tower or in a cocoon, certainly. But I think it's important that if you're teaching a class on business policy, then the business policy should reflect what's happening in business today. We don't want just history classes in the business School of Business and Innovation, although that's critical and very important. But we want to make sure that we stay up to date. And I think that's what I've been kind of conveying to our faculty here at the school. And I'm looking forward to helping them connect with business leaders all across, not just the country, but all across the globe. I was chatting on an email message just this afternoon about how we can connect our faculty with colleagues that I have that are over in Spain that are leaders in blockchain and cryptocurrency technologies. And just to have that link to Barton, to anywhere in the world. These bridges may be virtual, but they are critical for the success of our students.
I love that you mentioned that there's an AI class because things like that are so important and move quickly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just keeping up with what's going on in the business world is incredibly important. And sometimes universities and colleges move very slowly when it comes to things like that. So trying to stay relevant and updating your curriculum as much as possible is really what helps you stay relevant. So whether that's just having a lecture series or, seminar on the current topics like crypto and blockchain and things like that, I think helps a lot with staying current and relevant. So anyway, with that, let's talk about what's up this coming week.
Yeah, we come into the new week and a new month actually. So we're excited that around the middle of the week we'll have our Barton College Day of Service, which I'm really excited to be part of that because it's a place where everybody volunteers to get stuff done around not just the Barton College campus, but the Wilson community. So it's a chance for our students to participate in a way that maybe they wouldn't a regular class day. They get a chance to meet people in the community, help out, and just be, part of this valued voice in the community. So I'm excited about what that can do for us on Wednesday, the October 1st.
Which
But also,
reminds
and I'll
me
kind of,
that
oh, mhm.
before Wednesday, if we get this up before Wednesday, there's still time between now and Wednesday for people to donate as part of the fundraiser for that. So
Right.
we can put that link in the
Well,
show notes. I think even
that's a great idea.
afterward,
Yeah,
people could still
yeah.
possibly donate. And the School of Business, it's for athletics and academics, and there is a
That's right.
designation for
That's right.
the School of Business, and people could, donate as part of the fundraiser and put their funds toward the School of Business and Innovation. So,
And I hope they do. And
yeah.
thank you for reminding me. That's Clash of the Bulldogs, they call it. And we're excited to be a part of that this year. And yeah, folks, if you would like to help us out a little bit, I'm sure that Becky will put the link there, and we'd love to get some attention and help us do what we're doing. And we'll kind of highlight some of those things as we go through the semester and through this year. But thank you for reminding me of that. So Lash of the Bulldogs this week ends on October 1st, I believe, the day of service. Yeah, folks, I will say that it's been a delight working with Becky on this because we've been trying to get this started, and we just wanted to have a recap for you this week. I didn't really intend to have a dissertation on all the things that we're doing, but this is exciting stuff, and I'm excited to share all that we do with you folks. And we'll be coming back to you each week with more recaps and more little tidbits of things that we've done here at the Barton College School of Business and Innovation. But you asked me a question. You said, what's coming up? So I've got two things I need to share with you before we wrap this up, Becky. And one is every other week, we try to have what I call these consortia. So what they really are Zoom calls that we do and we record and we talk about certain things. So kicking off this week is our data analytics consortium, where we have experts from all over the country talking about all things data. So it shouldn't be really surprising. That's what we do. But it's just a conversation. The unusual aspect of it, though, is I keep it to 30 minutes and I keep it really, really tight. It's a 30-minute call. We talk about things and then we say goodbye because we do this every 2 weeks. Every other week, we meet for 30 minutes and we talk about what's going on in the world of data, data analytics, data science. So those are really exciting. And what we'll do is we'll probably in the future, Becky, we'll have like clips or tidbits from those 30-minute sessions that we'll highlight here in this medium. And then we'll see where that goes. So that starts this week. But we also have another consortia as well, this other consortium called the Neurodata Consortium, the Analytics Consortium. And I'm excited about that because it sounds like it's the same thing. It's about data and we're talking about data, but yes, we are. But it's the idea that we're focusing on the emerging technologies and tools and processes that are focused on our neurodiverse population. And I think that's where it gets exciting, where the rubber hits the road, as they say. It's not just talking about data analytics or a multidimensional data cube or something like that. It's like, where are these tools? Where do these processes, help people that are struggling or concerned about our neurodiverse population? So excited to have those two start this week. We'll report back.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun getting the band back together, as we say, because
Yes.
both of those groups have been together before in different
Mm-hmm.
iterations. So it will
Yep.
be good to in a new form, but with some of the same players and a lot of great folks. And we'll see where they go from here, and we'll be happy to tell you how those go going forward. First of both of those meetings are this week, so hopefully we'll have lots to tell you next week. We want to try and keep these short and pithy, but I knew this week it was going to be a little bit longer as we introduce this and get started on trying to make these a regular cadence and just try to have fun with them.
I'm looking forward to sharing stories and sharing the journey and then working with you to share this wonderful podcast. So thank you.
All right, with that, we will say goodbye and
What does business mean? Business means what? What does that mean? Or Barton means what? What does
Barton
Barton
what?
mean?
Barton? What does
Barton
Barton means?
means Barton
Barton
business.
means
What's our tagline?
business. Barton means
Barton means business.
business. Absolutely.
Somewhere we're going to get a logo
We're
that
going to
says
get
that.
down.
So
We're going
we
to
got
get
to
down to
figure it out.
business. That's right. We are.
Exactly.
We're going to have a. We're going to toss School of Business and
Oh, I
Innovation
like that. You just
logo.
made something up. Because you talked about get down to business up at Barton. There you go. I like that.
There-
I love it. I love
We'll
it.
figure it out.
Thank
And
you.
all right. Well, thank you. Thanks for joining me. And I look forward to talking with you later this week.
Thanks, folks.
All right. Take care.